Early on, the Youth Corps was fabulous, even though we had to deal with adult unemployment. Just getting 25,000 young people between 18 and 21 out and about, working on roads, parks, hospitals, county fairs, getting them out, doing things for the state in the summer was very psychologically uplifting. Another thing was creating our Michigan Strategic Fund, which was a way to try to have the state be helpful in working in nurturing developing industries. And it wasn't a matter of picking winners and losers, but the fund actually invested in things like the National Center for Manufacturing Science in Ann Arbor, which is still going today, or an NSFNet. NSFNet was a consortium between IBM and the National Science Foundation, Michigan, Michigan State, Wayne State. NSFNet was a way to, at that time, was to connect all the computers of 140 research institutions into one grid and try to move the information around. And that was the forerunner, among many, to the internet. And I won't sit here and say we created the internet, although I will say that Al Gore sponsored the bill which created NSFNet. But in working with the defense, I mean, there were a lot of fathers of the internet, but the reality is NSFNet in Ann Arbor that we helped create, we did create, was one of the forerunners to the internet. It was sold to America Online. And that's why to this very day in a brand new building in Ann Arbor is Internet 2. It's something I don't think Michigan really cashed in on or capitalized on as well as I should have. I mean, I'm glad that Google is in Ann Arbor, but there's a lot more that should have been done and could have been done as a result of NSFNet and Internet 2. And those people there are all very proud. They had a big anniversary a couple years ago. I was at it, and it was good. Not as well known or as exciting as the Michigan Education Trust, which is the nation's first tuition guarantee program. And that one we're very proud of. And people who invested in MET contracts, it was the best investment they could have made. I still meet people who thank me for that program. And of course, Bob Bowman, our treasurer, is the one that designed it. I told him I wanted a program like that. I want to find a way to loan the state's very good credit rating to people to save for college. But something that could guarantee tuition, not just another IRA. You got all those out there, all these IRAs. Well, they're all dependent on the vicissitudes of the market. MET is a tuition guarantee program, and it's the first of its kind. A lot of states copied it and have done a lot more with it. I feel bad that my successors did not see to really enlarge upon it, because it's still the best finance program in Michigan. It was fun to get to know the other governors. It was fun to get to know Bill Clinton and then be part of his campaign. Michigan is a mega state, a major state, and so, you know, you have a chance to meet with and work with a lot of different people. I mean, I've, over the years, worked with President Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, the original Bush, Clinton. The most recent Bush I've met but don't really know. I haven't really worked with him, but with many of his people. So, you know, working with presidents, meeting ex-presidents, like spending time with Richard Nixon. You know, when you're governor, you can meet just about anybody you want if you're governor of Michigan. Of course, a lot of my fun was sports events, you know, meeting Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus. I mean, different things like that. But I think the thing that's lost is you have to have a very good staff. I mean, I'm proud of our administration, but the reality is it's a team. It's people. It's people in the executive office. It's people in your cabinet. Those are the people that you really remember fondly. It's not the Richard Nixons and the Gerald Fords. It's the people inside your administration. It's the Ron Thayers and Greg Morrises and Sparkies. And it's all those people, the Bob Bowman and the Steve Weiss and the Doug Ross and the Ralph Gerson and the Jim Pitts and Betty Howe. Betty was, of course, part of my campaign as well early on. It's all these people, the Martin Taylors and Ray Hoods. I mean, I'm starting to think back of all the people that were fabulous as part of our team, 40 or 50 of them, without which we wouldn't have done anything. I mean, that's the other thing. You just can't be a governor without a really good staff or a president. You can't do it. There are some politicians that are so bigger than life, they can kind of carry everybody and be popular and get reelected, but they don't necessarily get anything done. And there's a big difference. And there's a huge difference between campaigning and governing. And I think we did both well, but it was a team. And it was always a team. From the time I ran for Congress to governor to being ambassador, there was never anything I could claim I did myself. Well, you have to understand, when you're governor for 8 years in a state like Michigan, you're really under pressure all the time. And as I reflect back now, I realize that every moment that we were under pressure, every moment, really. Any moment you could have a prison riot, you could have a tornado, you could have a flood. I mean, we had record floods one year. Then we had a record drought another year. We had prison guards killed with riots. I mean, just when you think things are at an even keel, you find that General Motors is going to close 4 plants, or awful things are happening. And you feel a sense that if you're governor, maybe there's something you could do, or maybe there's something you should have done, or maybe there's something you must do. So you're on all the time. But I think you learn how to pace yourself. And the staff I had, they were all my age or younger. And so we worked hard, but we played hard as well. And yeah, I think compared to most people who hold the office, even though we faced probably the most difficult times, we really enjoyed it. We enjoyed ourselves. I think I probably had more fun at it than my successors. I do, because I found a way to relax on the job. So we entertained more people in the governor's residence, both in Lansing and Mackinac Island, than any governor's ever done. In fact, George Weeks said we treated it as a Grand Central Station. So I think sharing the governor's residence with people, whether Lansing or Mackinac, was a lot of fun. Having them all there and share in the election victory and share in helping the state, whether it was ministers or veterans or business leaders or labor leaders, that was fun. Certainly hosting the National Governors Conference in Traverse City was a lot of fun. That was 1987. People had never seen that side of Michigan. We had perfect weather. Bill Clinton was the chairman of National Governors. I was the host governor. We had a Motown review with the Four Tops, Junior Walker, Martha and the Vandellas. Clinton played the saxophone. We then flew the Democrats after that conference to Mackinac Island, and they had all the presidential candidates there. So those were fun, showcasing Michigan's magnificent shoreline and lakes and beauty. That was fun, and that's why we worked so hard to protect the Great Lakes. And then we could explain it to people that we're not only 95% for surface fresh water, but we need a Great Lakes Charter to protect the lakes from diversion. We need to ban drilling in the Great Lakes. We need to protect the dunes. Dune protection law was something I'm very proud of. There are a lot of things like that, but it starts with the assets of Michigan, which are its people, of course, but it's our universities, it's our infrastructure, it's our Great Lakes, it's our manufacturing know-how. I am very bullish about the future of Michigan, as much as I was in our dark days of 1983. So I think to the extent anyone could enjoy being governor in a difficult time, I did. And I think the people who worked for me did. And I remember saying to all of them that someday you'll look back and say, these were your most fun times. And when I see all of our people, they remind me that I said that. And it was true. I was lucky to go on to be ambassador to Canada, and that was also a lot of fun with less pressure. But actually, ambassadors, if you go to a major country, have a lot of important responsibilities as well. But you don't have to raise money. You don't have people trying to defeat you, those kind of things.